Alright, let's go ahead and just jump in. So, what I wanted to talk about today is just kind of a little bit of a chat, kind of an update, and then I also wanted to talk a little bit about working from home or studying from home, because I looked up some of these tips and tricks and I found some of them useful. So I wanted to share the ones that I found useful with you guys. So not all of these are things I came up with, obviously. One of them is mine. I didn't see it anywhere else. But the rest of the things are things I gleaned from various online sources. So, they're loud back there. Oh well. So, let's start off though, before I forget, talking about the Stir Crazy specials. So, today's the 15th. Tomorrow's the 16th. The second week of Stir Crazy specials ends the 16th at 8 a.m. our time. So, orders have to be in by 10 p.m. Central Time, which means 8 p.m. our time. So realistically, if you want to order something, let me know tonight. There's a pretty good chance I'll be up and running by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. But I might not be. Depends on how tonight goes. And I don't have to be up, so I might not be. Anyway, let me know if you would like something tonight, or make sure you get a hold of me earlier tomorrow morning so I can put the order in for you. You can always order online as well, but I have to submit it once you've ordered it, so give me a little bit of a buffer there as well. So to be safe, if you want in on this week's specials, probably should let me know or order online tonight. If you haven't taken a look at those yet, be sure to pop down. I will put the link to that Stir Crazy special page in the comments down below, and you can check out this week's specials as well as the new specials that will update at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. So this week's specials were 20% off of 14 different pieces, so you might want to check out and see if there's anything on that list that you would like. And then we'll have, it's 13 pieces next week are going to be at 1% off as well, and I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to leave the suspense. But there are another 13 pieces that'll be rotating through next week. And some of those pieces are like, oh my goodness, they're so cute. I'm so excited. And there's even one piece in there that's a limited edition piece, which means it's already 10% off of what it retailed for when it was in our catalog. And so then there's the Stir Crazy discount. And then remember, Gem members, you get another 20% off of the sale price. Okay? So keep an eye on my public page. That's where I'm doing most of the Stir Crazy stuff. I'll try to remember to throw some of it in here as well. But I have all of the pieces that'll go up tomorrow. I have them listed with the prices for both the sale price and the gem price. So keep an eye out for that. It's kind of a quick little resource where you can just kind of flip through real quick. That's it for Stir Crazy specials. If you have any questions on that type of stuff, let me know. I'm happy to help. And if you want to order, like I said, you can order online, or you can just text me, message me, however you want to get a hold of me. Say, hey, can you order this for me? That way you don't have to navigate the website if you don't want to. So I was kind of looking through some tips online between videos and articles and things like that for things. They kind of overlap, but for working at home, kind of in the isolation type of environment, as well as just staying in touch with people, because obviously a lot of us are not getting out and seeing and the friends and family we're used to seeing all the time. So there's a little bit of a change in routine, and I feel like it probably impacts us more than we realize, because we definitely are social creatures. I'm probably less so than most, but I know I'm still missing seeing everybody, especially at church. That's probably my biggest social gathering. And I'm definitely missing hanging out with everybody at church. But I kind of sectioned these into, these are not all of the tips I found, but they're the ones I thought would be useful. Either things that I want to work on, or that I found work for me, or things I thought you guys might appreciate as well. So I thought we could kind of make this an informative video, and be sure to let me know if you have any of these tips that I haven't mentioned that you would like to share in the comments. Please feel free to do that. The idea is to have kind of a chat. So if you hop on and you want to comment and get in on the conversation, that would be great. So I kind of divided it into two sections. One is staying connected with people who you normally see on a regular basis, coworkers, friends, family, things like that. One of the things that I found that I feel like is pretty common sense, but also might be good to mention, is to make a point of just contacting people just for the sake of contacting them, especially if they're people you see regularly that you don't text a whole lot because you see them at work or whatever. Make a point of just sending a quick text or contacting them and just checking in. Hey, how are you doing? Especially if you've got older people, elderly or at-risk people that probably are more confined and less likely to be going out or anything, even for essential supplies. So check in on them and see if they need anything. That's a great way to reach out. You can just do it just for the fun of it. Say hello, chat for a little bit, let them know you miss them, that type of stuff. I feel like that's a really good solution to staying connected even though we're not able to see each other in person. You can do that through the electronics and the communication systems that we've got now. Part of that kind of branching off is opt for a phone call or a video conferencing call. I guess FaceTime, I'm not really into FaceTime, but I guess that's super popular, so do that if that works for you. Rather than just emailing or texting somebody, because you get that face-to-face, even though it's virtual, but you get some face-to-face communication. You can see their face, they can see your face, and you kind of just are able to communicate, and that's pretty fun to be able to see somebody face-to-face. So if you can, opt for a video conferencing or a Zoom meeting or something that's face-to-face rather than just a text or an email. So that's a tip I found that I feel like is kind of common sense, but also important to mention. So, moving on to kind of the more productivity side of these tips. So if you're working from home or if you're studying from home, what are some things that you might be able to incorporate to help you stay productive? Some things that I felt like I could probably work on are acting like you're actually going to work or school. So I'm still going to work a couple days a week, but I'm studying schoolwork from home. The university's all closed down, so that is that's something I have to focus on being productive, because I don't want to be productive. And even when the semester was going, I had kind of my homework day was Wednesday, where I would just go and I would do all of my reading and all of my articles and everything like that. But I would go down to our local coffee shop to get out of the house, to kind of have a space and time to myself and a scheduled time to do my work. I don't have that anymore because they closed down their seating area per restrictions. So I have to be careful to not get too distracted at home. So here are some tips that kind of work toward that. Mimic like you're going to work or school. Get a good night's sleep. Make sure you're in bed decent time. That's one of the problems I have, is I really like to just hang out and chat with my sisters. And I need to be going to bed and getting a good night's sleep so I feel rested in the morning. Make sure to eat breakfast. Do whatever you normally do. So whether that's exercise, I like to read my Bible first thing in the morning. Get some stuff done. Just kind of, that's kind of my routine. And so I'm trying to carry my routine over, even though I'm not going to school. Try to do kind of the same type of thing and be up at a decent hour too, not stay up super late and get up super late. The other thing that I've seen a lot of places is just to dress up. Get out of your pajamas. It doesn't have to be anything too fancy. Of course, if you're on video conferencing all the time, the top half of you is probably going to look pretty professional. But try to just get out of your pajamas into something a little bit better looking, help you feel like you kind of got ready. Put on some makeup if you want. That's not something I typically do for school, so that's not really in my routine. But I do like to put it on occasionally. If I'm doing videos or lives, things like this, just to help me feel like I'm a little more put together. You can throw on some jewelry, and I can help you find some pieces. These are my favorite go-tos. I feel like I show these every single time, but these are our Style Steel hoop earrings. They're super lightweight, and they go with a lot. I wear hoodies all the time, so I feel like they're casual enough to go with a hoodie, but they kind of pop a little bit, make me feel like I did something to get ready, you know? So that's an option for you. If you want more of those like little kind of at-home jewelry items, let me know and I can give you some suggestions, of course. One of the other tips I found for being productive is to have a dedicated workspace. If you're able to do that, have a desk, preferably somewhere that's not your bed or the couch, you know, somewhere, maybe even just the dining room table, somewhere where you can set up and have your workspace and have that be a space that's relatively free from distractions. That's an idea for how to be a little more productive. One thing that I need to work on, and that I did pretty decently on today, was having a schedule. So schedule your time, make sure you're, act like you're kind of going to your shift at work, whatever that means for you. So, like for me, for school, having maybe an hour each day where I would work on each class, because that would be the hour that I would normally be spending in class. Things like that would probably be a good idea. Also, make sure you just schedule in breaks, because if you're working from home and you sit in front of your computer all day or whatever you're doing, you're probably going to get distracted if you sit there for too long. So some things that I saw people doing were getting up and either doing like a little mini at-home workout, like a 5-minute jumping jacks, that type of thing, you know, get the blood flowing. That's probably a pretty good idea. Get outside and walk the dog. What were some other good ideas I saw? One person said they like to do housework. Go do the dishes that are in the sink, start a load of laundry, and that just gets you up and moving and focused on something else and gives your brain a bit of a break. So that's an idea. And also, kind of along that line, have a plan with tasks that you want to complete. So a to-do list for that day, or, you know, before lunch I'm going to work on this project, after lunch I'm going to work on this project. If that's something that you're able to do, that would be a good idea. One thing I can really suggest is to limit your distractions. So I saw a few people, primarily this is focused toward our phones, obviously, and social media, because we tend to spend so much time on those things and we waste a lot of our time doing things that are pointless, or at least not what we're supposed to be doing. So one person set a timer on their phone so that they would not be able to pick it up during that time. So it was like an hour and a half, she said, and she just flipped it upside down and left it on her desk, and until that timer went off, she wasn't allowed to look at her phone. You could also just plug it in the other room, silence it, leave it off, so you can focus on your work. That's provided you don't need your phone for your work. But those are some ideas. And then the last tip I've got for being productive and kind of working away from distractions is actually mine. This I didn't steal anywhere. I didn't see it anywhere. And this is something that's worked for me for years now. And it might be that I'm just weird. This might not work for you. My brother, I've told him about this, and he says it would never work for him. But I like to listen to music when I'm working or studying. And I used to do this at school too. I don't like a completely silent work environment for whatever reason, especially if it's a public place, like in the library. If at UNR, the higher up in the library you go, like second floor is pretty loud, really loud, third floor is getting quieter, fourth floor is pretty quiet, fifth floor is don't click a pen, quiet. But there's no way I can work on the fourth and fifth floor, so I would go either on the second or third floor, and I would put in my earphones, and I would sit and listen to music. And it has to be music that's pretty familiar to me, preferably instrumental. My go-to is the Lord of the Rings soundtrack. I also really liked, what was the other one I was doing this semester? Oh, the Captain America Winter Soldier soundtrack. They're both they've got changes in tempo that kind of help to keep me awake and alert, and but they're both instrumental. Or I'll play kind of my Spotify playlist with my real familiar songs on them that aren't going to be a distraction to me, that I can kind of hum along with in my head, you know. So that's an idea for if you need maybe a little bit of background noise to drown out what's going on around you. Because I know in our house we have 6 people and we're all home, trying to work from home. So that that can be pretty distracting. There's a lot of noise. 2 different people are on phone calls at the same time, so being able to plug my headphones in and just kind of zone out into my own little world works pretty well for me. So that's something you might try. I don't know, it might be terrible for you, but that was kind of my little tip. So I feel like this dragged on super long, but I hope this was helpful for you. Let me know if you have any tips and tricks that work for you as far as productivity or staying connected with people. And then, of course, let me know if you have any questions about the Stir Crazy specials. Here on Facebook, I will put that link in the comments of this video, and you can check it out there. So, thank you so much for watching, guys. I appreciate it. Let me know how you guys are doing, and I'm trying to do one of these weekly, at least. Probably just one. But let me know if you've got ideas for things that you want me to talk about, what you want to see, and we might kind of shift towards shorter ones as I kind of get all of my long-winded topics out. But thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you guys think of these tips and tricks, if they work for you, and give me some that you've got if you've got some I didn't mention. So I hope you guys have a fantastic evening and a great week. Keep me updated on how you guys are doing, and I will look forward to doing another live video with you guys next week.